We are live. Got the thumbnail up a little late this evening. So who all's here? Frizzell said he was first, and then Lars. Danny Boyd asking if that's my new shop. No, that shop belongs to a friend of mine. Hot Rock Guy, Garage, Russell, Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, unfinished project here with the Dart Sport. And a reminder, if you have not yet registered for the 4th annual AHRA No Name Nationals, he has provided the link. Unfinished project says, if that is my shop, I'm renting a bay. No, but I checked it out yesterday. Twisted Mopar Garage, Dennis is here. 6th Street Garage is here, and Matthew. 6th Street Garage always wants to know what giveaway. We're going to give something away tonight. We don't always, but we're going to tonight. Sweetie and Vlogs, hello. Thanks for joining us. Blue Brick Garage wants to know where he can get one of those Ford Blue Garages. Well, that one can be yours. It is for sale. It's a stormy night in Georgia, but it's a beautiful day here. Buff Del Campo says full house already. Yeah, we got 23 in here, and we just rang the dinner bell. Colleen, a.k.a. Mama M to the 3rd power, is here. The One-Eyed Cat, Turbo Tom 416, our pace car for the No Name Nationals dinner cruise this year. Pure Pontiac Garage, Lunar Outlaws Garage is here. Patrick Blake Johnners assemble. Now, the heathens, they come over here and hang out occasionally too, but you rally them. Lunar wants to know what's good. Well, all kinds of stuff. Taking the Jeep to the Jeep show tomorrow. That should be an experience. Andrew Nelson is here, says, good evening, gang. Mean Street Mopar, who has this week taken the lead in the No Name 500, by the way. He has surged ahead of Stinger Salvage, and he is now leading in the No Name 500. So everybody pull for Ken. Come on, man. Get close, and let's have a 500 live. Let's do this thing. I don't know what Blue Grit Garage is talking about, fabricating aluminum and all that, but it sounds pretty cool. Mopars, Mustangs, and Minivans says, hello all. Lars puts up a link to Mean Street Mopar right here. Yeah, he's in the lead, and he's getting close. Cope is in the house. Check that out. Howdy, sir. Glad you're here. Been enjoying your endless Pope memes. Johnny C. Victor is here. Charging my phone and power base at McDonald's in the Rabbit. Sounds like a plan. Cope from the top rope. Yes, that's the way he enters the room. Pure Pontiac is here. Well, hello, everyone. Glad you all could make it. Twisted Mopar is waiting on Just Mopar Joe's new video on how to eat Chicago-style hot dogs with ketchup. Boy, that is blasphemous. I got to tell you, Chicago hot dogs are right just like they are. There's some things you should not mess with. That's one of them. And for authentic Chicago hot dogs, Cope's had them in his pits a couple of years, and they are fantastic. My mom was even commenting on how good they are because she's used to industrial hot dogs. And when you have one where people put some effort into them and do all that stuff with the poppy seed buns and the whole garden on it and all, she said, well, that's really good. Yeah, I think so too. Frizzell says, I just set up a 2nd channel. Nothing on it yet, but it's the start of something. Hey, Lars, Colleen, one of you guys, if you pop up the link for Frizzell's 2nd channel, that would be great. Crystal Kilgore is here. Mean Street Mopar himself, the new leader in the No Name 500. He's going to surge. He's going to try to have his 500 by Memorial Day, right? Blake says that hippie's too drunk to taste that hot dog. Well, we get it. We get it. And Frizzell says, curiously, he says he's got a new channel, nothing on it yet, but it's a start of something. Of what? What are we doing on that channel? My Aunt Nancy is here, whom I will see tomorrow. Frizzell Outdoors. There you go. Cool. Yeah, post up the link and we'll check it out. Cardinal Cope. Yeah, I don't know how all that works, but I'd go with that. Nan's van, indeed. That will be Nan's van. That's Nan herself of Nan's van. That is correct. There's Mohawk 62. Glad you could make it. I think Mohawk enjoyed the door swinging open on the Jeep more than anybody, but that is fixed now. It was something that would have been I don't think I ever made that short public. I did a little short and sent a few people. It took half an hour or more to get the top of the Jeep back to where it needed to be from all the just crunched up rust mess. And then it took 2 minutes to weld it. I really wanted to do it before it got like that. Dad would never let me do that. I was like, if we could do that now, it'd be a lot easier. But anyway, it's fixed. So it's amazing how much else good that did. It made the back glass line up good and everything. Notchback duster, yes. Yes, I agree. Dean says, when do we the new deep dish style Chicago communion wafers? Oh, what do you think about that, Cope? What do we need for? So, you think we should have Chicago style communion? That's not a bad question. Dean's asking. So you guys are asking questions out of my pay grade with all this stuff. That's a good one. Kim Fixes Things is here. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. Nacho Duster. If it was J-Bo's, that would make sense. As a food, I don't really get. It's like an oyster cracker that didn't turn out or something. I guess that's supposed to be unleavened or something. I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff. All right, let's see here. I'm wearing my shirt from the late Atlas Tactical of Newport. I taught in the back room of that shop for years. And it kind of went the way of the dinosaur at COVID, but great shop, great people there. And I was their in-house instructor for a good while. Best setup I ever had. It was great. See, every time I want to read one of Dean's comments and I see numbers in it, I already know that my brain is going to be smoking trying to figure out what he's talking about. Kimberghini Squared, my road in Milton is misaligned 66 feet and 8 inches. I blame the chain. That's the most Dean Stevenson comment I think I've ever seen. Paula Nelson's in the house. Glad you're here. Thank you for turning up. Yeah, I'm going to do a giveaway tonight. I should do it with numbers. I think we've about melted her phone the last couple of times we tried to do that. Yeah, I'm going to give a banner away tonight. I'll give a banner away tonight. And I was talking with a couple people about possibly doing something a little different with a class at No Name Nationals for this year. So, Bad Tree Blake says, so I waited hours poolside, drinking only 2 miles from Menards, and MM78 never came to hang out. Is it the bad thing? Mama Nivlack, oops. Yeah, that works. So we have 131 days, 3 hours, and 49 minutes until the 4th annual AHRA No Name Nationals, as it sits right now. How are your projects coming? Because I have been swamped with stuff going on here. How are your projects going? There's a lot of stuff going on, but it just is what it is. It was a non-issue. Yeah. Did you expect anything, Blake? I'll be completely honest with you. I forget that dude exists until you posted that. It's missing the whole chain. Ooh, that does not sound good. Lars has posted the link for No Name 500 Contender Lone Wrench Garage. He is running last. There's plenty of time. This guy's got to step it up. It's the month of May. Crystal says no current tags, I believe, on Mohawks. We'll have to fix that issue. Yeah, get your stuff kosher. Twisted Mopar Garage says I've made progress on the Dart Sport. Have the trunk extensions in, sealed up, the lower quarter panels done, roughed in, all air undercarriage done and sealed up. Started on the engine bay today. Yeah, man, you're killing it. Cutter Down Garage 303 is here. Hello. Lars puts up the link for Indecisive Garage. Tim Jacobson. He runs the first E4OD trans brake to come out of Cope Racing Transmission, and he is winning races with it. And he is registered for the No Name Nationals. He needs to get his subscribers, so go check him out. He's got some good stuff over there, and we want to see him racing. Andrew Nelson says, we are heads down on our 6th summer prep. Camaro ran 885 at 154.8. Found a bunch of items to correct or improve. But you would find a bunch of items to correct or improve on anything because you guys are talented like that. Unfinished Project says the 66 Valiant is in full swing between the raindrops and parts delays, currently trying to find the longer wheel studs for the front. There's Frizzell Outdoors. This would be my second channel. Nothing there yet, but the channel is there. Well, cool. An Unfinished Project put up the link. So, excellent. I will check it out. No Name 500 Contender Rust Before Holes. Such a great name. I think that's where Mohawk used to work. But he's in the mix as well. Check him out. Cool guy. I like his style. I mean, some of these guys, you know, remember, a lot of you guys were there and exactly in their shoes not that long ago. Dean says that one chain is 66 feet and 8 inches long. Don't tell anybody. Don't worry. And there is the link to Stinger Salvage. Yeah, check all of these guys out. They really have some good stuff, worthy content. Just like all of you guys, we need people to hear about them. Crystal Kilgore says, been busy making bag grandpa, Colleen, and more. Crack up laughing at things. I thought, well, I can believe that. Blue Grid is trying to clear up space in the garage around Anna's 67 Mustang so we can start working on it. We need to focus. Yeah, that. Getting started is the hardest part. Dallas is in the house. American Hot Rod Association. Buick Nationals is next week. I won't be live next week. Okay, so PSA, there's no Wednesday night tech talk on the American Hot Rod Association channel. Dallas is going to be at the Buick Nationals. Maybe you can bribe him into doing something from there. Mostly Old Parts Wrong Ward says, I've been working on other people's stuff and haven't had the time or motivation to work on my own junk. Currently working 6 days a week. Sundays are spent relaxing and getting ready for another grind. Well, Wrong Ward works pretty hard at the No Name Nationals, I'll tell you that. But we love Wrong Ward. He's awesome. Kim says they got a full parts car for Buff thanks to Dallas. So did Dallas make that run to pick it up? Have you taken delivery yet? Lars puts up the link for Mean Street Mopar. He's in the lead. He still needs help, and he's putting out the content. So if you want to see stuff on his 4 speeds and doing swaps and parts he's putting together, he's got a 360 and a 518 swap going in an M-body. He's making it happen over there. Check him out. And we want to be having a 500 live for him really soon. Russell, Hot Rod Guy Garage. There is a No Name 500 rocket ship success story. We have several, and he's one of them. I mean, there's a lot of rock stars that get into No Name 500, and we are fortunate to have them. Bad Tree Productions. The Duster has a flat tire, and I got a sunburn welding docks together for 9 hours. What is that on the Say It Lee Big Head? Oh yeah. No. We got the Mississippi River. We'll use traditional pronunciation here. Ron wants to know Dallas is going to Bowling Green. I believe that's where it is. Futura Parts Car. Okay. You know, parts cars getting to be something we don't even talk about anymore because people want to save everything now. And it's understandable. Junkyard D says, well, we have a flatbed 1973 B300 van. That sounds really cool. I want to see that. Is it an old motorhome? I like that. Unfinished Project puts up the link. First place in the World Peach Cobbler Contest. All 51 Nobel laureates voted for him. Okay. I could see that with Lars. Cutter Down said, look like tinted glass in the Futura. Yeah, I'm all about those. I think they're cool. Danny Boyd says, the man from Kentucky sure is lucky. Almost sounds like a limerick there, man. Hot Rod Guy Garage says, keep grinding and you will make the 500. 131 days and a few hours. It's totally doable. Yes. Listen to the people who've done it before. Kim Fixes Things says, the Futura is rust-free, but just a parts car. Video about the parts car up tonight or tomorrow. Yeah, I know. And if it's rust-free, should it really be a parts car? And Danny Boyd says, or a race car. Dean Stevenson says, the waiting is the hardest part. If you keep waiting, you won't get one more yard. That sounds like when I try to mow and I keep getting distracted and I can't get my mowing done. If I keep waiting, I won't get one more yard. Lars puts up a link to the Buick Nationals. It's at Beach Bend, which is indeed in Bowling Green. You can stop by and maybe get Dallas's autograph there. How about that? Danny Boy says, I leave my phone in the truck when I mow. I really should, and I don't. I ride around with it. I can't hear it. I take it out a couple of times and check it and kind of regret that I do because then I'm sitting there in the middle of the yard, responding to something. Most of the old parts wrong Ward says, I got to give props to Buff and Kim for the feat of engineering used to straighten the Triumph frame. Where there's a will, there is a way. Agreed. I got to tell you, those two will tackle some stuff a lot of people won't. Straightening frames, and I could see them doing all kind of stuff like that. A lot of people would never touch straightening a frame. Slant Daily Garage says, I will be lurking in the garage. What's up, suckers? Dean, I don't know what that means. I'm not even reading it. Dallas confirms Bowling Green. I'm going to give a banner away. I think I'll do it at the bottom of the hour. Kim says we just do the best we can with what we got. But the thing is what I see you doing is actually doing the best with what you have. When there's other people who have, but they don't do. And you guys are doers. I'll give you that. And doing is a lot of it. Speaking of doers, here's Andrew Nelson. I bought 3 4200s this year so far. If anyone has any they're wanting to get rid of, we could get hooked up at No Name Nationals. I can haul 8 without causing issues to reload the cars. So, Andrew Nelson, for the folks in the chat, who may be watching, who don't know what just 4200 means, if you want to describe to them what they came in, year, make, and model, because there's a lot of people who might have that sitting around, don't know that as a 4200. If you post that in the chat, we can put the word out. You never know. Ron says that Kim fixes things. Y'all got great problem solving skills. Yeah, I give him that. I give him that. Not gonna lie, Kim makes me cringe a little bit sometimes on those transmissions, but they do great stuff. They do, really do. Yeah, 42 exactly 4200 motors question mark. So if Andrew, if you can post what that is, like what year, make, and models those came out of, because remember, if you get a core from a person that just knows that as an old Trailblazer engine, for example, you might actually get one from someone saying, "Oh, I didn't know what a 4200 was, but I've had one of those sitting out behind the building for years." The one-eyed cat says, "Finished gapping rings today. One less thing. Time's a ticking, evening all." So, is the plan to have the new 440 in the Valiant for No Name Nationals? It sounds like it is. Blue Grit Garage says, "My friend bent the front of his Tempest, and I bent the back of my Fairlane. So we chained them together and had a tug of war in the street. We did finishing touches with a sledgehammer." Wow, that sounds like two destroyed cars got more destroyed. But hey, if it worked for you. Most of the old parts wrong ward wants to know what shortcomings Andrew Nelson has discovered with the 4200s. So Andrew says that the Vortec 4200 came in the Chevy Trailblazer and the Saab, and GM. Really? A Saab? I had no idea. I've never given one nanosecond of thought as to what engine ever came in a Saab. All I know is some of the old ones, the engine was turned around backwards and the belts faced the firewall. And there was a guy that said it was the most soul-destroying job ever working on those things. That's all I know. Andrew Nelson says, "We prefer the 2006 to 2009. Wrong English says, "Just done over at the cat's place. I concur. Motors moving along. More trips to Ohio soon." Yeah. Junkyard D says, "Question is, can I get the dually axle out of the old RV by the end of the show?" Hey, race man, you've got, what do you have, an hour and 32 minutes or hour and 36 minutes. The Saab SUV was the same as a Trailblazer. Man, I hope that doesn't push something useful out of the back of my head. I mean, do they still make Saabs, or is that not a make anymore? I don't have any idea. Let me tell you how much I know about a Saab. They used to make them where the belts faced the firewall and the engine was in them backwards. And there was an episode of Seinfeld where the valet parked it and stunk it up, and then Jerry wound up giving it away. That is literally all I know about those things. I've never driven one. I've never worked. Oh, yeah, and the movie Moving. If you haven't seen that 1988 movie named Moving with Richard Pryor and Dana Carvey driving the Saab, that's one you want to see. So there's the three things I know about a Saab. Ron says, "I thought Saabs had air-cooled two-stroke engines." I know that if they did, it was way back there. And Dallas is saying it's a Trailblazer available with a 6.0 LS. Gosh, I had no idea. Moving, great movie. I agree. I like that movie. It's fun. Well, one thing too is being a real estate broker. I really liked the whole, the thing where they bought their house and people holding them to the letter of the contract. I thought that was great. I remind my agents of that when we have something in a contract that's kind of missing, or we can get away with, no, don't count on it. Andrew Nelson confirms the Saab 9-7X is a rebadged Chevy Trailblazer. Wow. All kind of stuff that I have no idea about. Blue Grit says the only thing he knew about Saabs was the ignition key was low on the center console. Anti-theft device. I think the anti-theft device is the fact that it's a Saab. Danny Boy says, I'm a slob. Does that count? Frizzell says, I've never even been up close to a Saab. Oh, yeah. So Ron mentions the scene with Randy Quaid and his V8 lawnmower was awesome. Yes. You need to see that. Even if you don't watch the whole movie, do a YouTube search for, you can probably just put in that Randy Quaid V8 lawnmower, probably come up. Saab's cars ceased production in 2014. Well, you can tell how much I missed them. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's free with ads on YouTube. So there you go. Moving movie, Richard Pryor. It is a Richard Pryor movie, so just know that going in. Don't be easily offended. AHRA Guy Garage says, and a parking brake on the front discs on some older. See, that's the kind of absolute ridiculousness right there. Yeah. But anyway, Andrew says, rods and pistons are the weak parts on the 4200. We replace the rods and pistons on anything we plan to make more than 750 horsepower with. Okay. Rust Before Holes is here. That yellow car in your thumbnail there, what is that? Is that a Torino? That's sharp. Dean says, and 2 fingers chopped off. Yep, I know somebody that chopped off some fingers on a hole punch. Yep, Joania. I think I pronounced that right. Unique name. Old McDonald has a cars here. I know many cars that can be thought of as SOBs. Yeah, maybe Saab was. Maybe that was a pun. Maybe that was a play on words there. Mohawk says my friend's mom had Saabs at different times and both burnt up. Wiring shorts, they said. Yeah, I don't know. I've never worked on one of those. Never driven one. When Saab went kaput, they shut down operations immediately, leaving thousands of brand new cars in New Jersey in customs that could not be sold as there were no more Saab dealers. Again, Saabs, New Jersey, new cars at dealers. This is all stuff that's like not part of my world at all. Wrong English says, sorry, Dean, I've never met you personally. I think I would have noticed. Well, that's a good point. Dean needs to come to the No Name Nationals. He needs to take his American vacation. Rust Before Hole says it's a 70 Cobra Torino, had since 72. Oh, that's cool. Glad you've had it all these years. Hot Rod Guy Garage, what's worse than a DeLorean and a Saab? Oh, yeah, 10 out of 10 times. I'd take a DeLorean over a Saab any day. I think it'd be fun to have a DeLorean with a 318 just to anger people. You would anger everybody if you put a 318 in a DeLorean because you would make the people mad who think it should be the whatever that was they had in them. I don't even know. And you would also anger the people. It's like, well, gosh, if you're going to do all that, at least put something big in there, like a big blog. See, you'd make nobody happy except people like me. You would make about 4 people happy if you put a 318 in a DeLorean. Charger 383 Mopar William. Hello, sir. Is the plan still having the Red Rocket and all that good stuff at No Name Nationals this year, sir? Can a Saab make it to 88 miles per hour? Why, it does in the movie Moving. Brazil says Derek from Vice Grip has a DeLorean with an LS. Okay. Well, that's decidedly uninteresting. They run good. LSs do run good. I give it. Yeah, 318-904. See, J-Bo, now you're talking. So J-Bo and I would like to see a 318 in DeLorean. Yep, that's the plan. If you've not checked that out, you really got to see Williams his Cushman he's doing with a 440. It's pretty cool. And you can see what happens when a cooling system hose pops off. He really got it for that. Can one of our esteemed mods please post the link to William getting an antifreeze bath? That was pretty wild. Most of the old parts is, I think, a better choice to make the DeLorean purists cringe would be to use a 360 AMC engine. They're going to cringe no matter what you do. They're going to cringe if you wash it with the wrong stuff. DeLorean had a junk Renault V8, V6. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. I knew it was. Tell you what, that DeLorean Back to the Future did some pretty good burnouts. I'll give it that. Of course, most of them were on wet pavement. Yeah, at least engine swap ones are more reliable. This is true. The Red Rocket is officially running and driving. Now to finish the rest. Yeah. So those of you who are new here, if you look at William's thumbnail here, that was him burning down the neighborhood with his winning burnout for the first annual No Name Nationals there. And he was wearing that helmet, and that's why it has his channel sticker on it, if you notice. It's got the Charger 383 Mopar channel. So that helmet's retired on the wall with his channel sticker. He was wearing it in that picture you see. Thankfully, it was mostly water. Yeah, I shake everything down with water before I put antifreeze in, but you're right. 88 miles per hour. That is right. I went faster than that in the Honda today. Not my Honda. I don't think the CRV has ever been there. I don't know. That CRV might have gotten to 80 sometime. I don't know. It's possible. I drive like an old man. Blue Grid says that DeLoreans were supposed to have a 350 Chevy, but Chevrolet backed out. So they put an anemic Renault engine in it. I know I'm not pronouncing that the French way, but I don't really care. Russell says a good old PRV V6 Peugeot Renault Volvo V6 with its Bosch injection. Yeah. Sounds like a whole lot of stuff I don't want to work on. Don just wants 999 in the 8th mile. Oh, you'll get it. He got a 1002. Don had made one more pass in the cool air. He'd have gotten it. William is all healed up and cleared to go back to work Monday. Good deal. And Colleen puts up the link. This is Frizzell's new channel, Frizzell Outdoors. Go check it out. He's a proven channel. Good dude. And when he got rid of that beard, he looked completely different, by the way. I'm still not convinced that I'm older than him, but. Aunt D, hello all. The two-stroke Saabs are kind of cool. Yeah, I've never, you know what, I need to see it. Can somebody text me a picture of one of the two-stroke Saabs? I'll put it up on the screen. I've never seen such a thing. Hot Rod Guy Garage, Russell says, Dean, I've not seen a Lakar in forever. I remember in Bluefield growing up, there was this, if you remember when like, these people had a VHS rental store. It was kind of like the private version of Blockbuster, and they had an ice cream parlor in there. I thought that was kind of neat little combo. And anyway, one of the people who worked there drove a Lakar, and it was green, and it was super rusty. And I remember it had 3-lug wheels, which was so weird looking. 3-lug wheels. Oh, cool. Andrew Nelson, the 1022 panels cut off in the city here. But you know what? That thing is a good conversation starter about this conversation. We don't want to memorialize what happened there and all that, but we do want to talk about, we want to learn, we don't want the lessons to be forgotten by the people who weren't in that car. I know you never will. You know, it's funny, is 1022 is a great Ruger rifle, by the way. Here is a link to Charger 383. William there getting a steam bath from a cooling system. Good reminder on wearing your safety glasses, working around that stuff, not forgetting your clamps. Yes, Ron says, didn't Lakars only have 3 lug nuts per wheel? Yes, they did. It looked so weird. They looked so weird. I'm sure I can find a picture of that. The Lacar had. And I don't know, were they bolts or lugs? I don't know. I've never pulled one. I just remember they had them. They had 3 lug wheels. Okay, this is more how I remember them right here. So there's the Lacar. I'll tell you what, you know what? I think the Lacar is the people who made Chevette owners feel so much better about their dailies back in the day. But anyway, you can see the 3 lug wheels, and they would rust to the ground. There was nothing left. Those cars would disintegrate, kind of like the old Datsuns would. Rapid Transit J is here. Thanks for joining us, sir. Always good to see you. 3x4 billion lug pattern. I've never pulled a wheel off one of them. Yeah, William was so excited to have it running again. He forgot a clamp. Is that Dallas? Yes, that is Dallas. Ron says Lacar and Yugo pretty much fall in the same category. I think the Yugo was probably a little bit better car, but I don't know. I don't think you were driving too much if you were driving either one of them. Turbo Tom 416 said the Lacar, you had to pry the engine to the side to remove the oil filter. Oh my gosh. Really? That's horrible. Now, Matthew says something, and this is interesting. Lacar had a different wheelbase from side to side. Okay, I've got to know. Tell me what the deal is on that. How much did it differ, and where did it differ? That to me is very interesting. I know people who've done that on race cars and why. Andy says there's a few European cars with 3 lug wheels. That's just weird. Unfinished Project's asking something that looks to me like it will not pass tech. Should I just drop the front hubs on the 66 and use bolts? Yeah, so Matthew says that, but then Dean says so does every Jaguar and Ford Mustang. Well, what is the difference on them? I didn't know. I know most of your sanctioning bodies require no more than 1 inch difference from side to side. And I know that racers have actually used that to their advantage. Gives you more rollout. I'm thinking about that, right? Andy says, I can't say I've never worked on either, but I've seen more 3 lug wheels on cars than 7 lug wheels on trucks. Yeah, I've seen that. I'll tell you what, that's so weird. Ford doing the 7 lug wheel. That is so strange. Smart cars are 3 lug. I didn't know that. Yeah, I used to know somebody had a smart car. It was weird. Picked one side of it up just because we could. They don't weigh anything. These things are kind of more like a big go-kart than a small car. Old McDonald said, it's so nice to be watching from a warm garage again. I have propane in my garage, but man, it is not cheap. Danny Boyd says, I've got 2 cars with 4 lugs and 2 with 5. Hot Rod Guy Garage said the old light duty F250 was 7 lugs. You know, what year was that? See, when you say the old, you're talking about something to me that I consider late model. So what is the old F250? Okay, Matthew says it's 1.3 inches. That's pretty significant, actually. Ron says the passenger door of an AMC Pacer was 4 inches longer than the driver's side door. That is disturbing. I wish I had known that. Oh, the weird asymmetry of that would kill me. I'm so glad I never knew that. Danny Boyd said the 79 to 98 on the 7. Let's see, I don't consider that old. I only got one vehicle newer than that. Don said the only 4 lug I had was a 78 Fiesta, wrecked it hard. Cool. 97, 98 is. Okay. Who here? Bigfoot Mark sneaked in, by the way. Meant to say hi, Mr. Foot. How was your ride coming, sir? Bigfoot's and Mopar says, remember the Pacer one on Pink Saw Out? I think the Pacers are cool. The door thing weirds me out, though. The door thing weirds me out. Dallas says that my 63 Buick Special was 4 lug and I converted it to 5 lug. Cool. Hey, Dallas, can you do me a favor? And can you text me a number? You know what I'm going to do here. Can you text me a number that is between 100 and 200? And don't tell anybody what it is and don't post it in the chat, please. We're going to do a giveaway. A number between 100 and 200. Ron says, just recently learned that OBS stands for Old Body Style GM Trucks. That disturbs me as they were made from 88 to 98. I consider those exactly. I hear people using that and they don't even have a consensus on what it is. They use it for other makes. I don't like that old body style. It's just that doesn't work. Yeah, old body style. I remember the first one of those I ever saw. I remember when dude had one. It was an 88 model, of course, and it had the black grill single headlight. It wasn't the AHRA style. The truck was white. I remember the first one of those I saw. The secretary is ready. All right. All right. Dallas has sent me a number. I'm going to send that number to the secretary. All right. Here we go. No guesses count yet. I'll show you what you win. So we're going to do a giveaway, and I'm not taking any guesses until we say go. This is going to be for an AHRA No Name Nationals banner right here. Right here. We haven't given one of these away in a long time, so here it is. We'll be giving one away right now. Yes, we will. In fact, we'll do it here in just a second. That's what the giveaway is for. These are the same quality, same vinyl, same grommets and everything, made by the same people as the big banners we have, but they're in a little bit smaller, easier to hang package there. All right, here we go. Not taking any guesses just yet. So they got to be below this post. All right, there we go. What is the number that Dallas sent me? And the first person to get it will win that banner. Sorry I had to do a cue like that, but you just have to because people start jumping the gun. Madam Secretary, when you see it, we'll verify it. Oh, it's flying. Let's see. I haven't seen it yet. I like Danny Boyd there. Wrong answers only. Oh, wow. Look at him coming to life. All the lurkers come out to guess. So Dallas provided the number. Colleen is checking it. I have yet to see it. My goodness. It is moving. I have yet to see it. I'm surprised. Dallas is guessing. Dallas provided the number. I happen to know Dallas has one of those banners, so I asked him to pick the number. Man, Unfinished Project, he tries to win everything. And people are all around it. They're all around it. I know Colleen is looking too. Danny Boys is 5.8. This is good. This is good. Usually somebody gets it quicker than this. This is fun. I have yet to see it. Colleen, let me know when you see it. Oh, Paula Nelson. Now, now this is very un-Nelson-like. I've got to say this. So I said for Dallas to get me a number between 100 and 200, and Paula Nelson guessed 245. I'd be happy for her to win. No. Have you seen it, Colleen? I haven't yet. Man, y'all are all around it. I'm surprised no one's gotten it because it's the same thing as we did last week. We just moved up a series. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I'm surprised. Wow. So eventually somebody's going to get it. I don't even know what he's gotten this yet. Watch Dizzy come in here after y'all been guessing for 2 minutes and just bam. Okay. We definitely have a winner. We definitely have a winner now because I've seen it. So I've seen it guessed. So, Colleen, you have seen a winning guess. Now what you got to do is, and I've seen more than one person get it. So now I know who it's not. We have a winner. Now you have the task here. We got to verify this. I want you to verify this if you can, Colleen. This is the first time I saw it. Danny Boy got it after Rust Before Holes. But I want you to verify that Rust Before Holes was the first person to get 117. If you would, that would be very nice. Because, if we make a mistake, we honor it. But, so Colleen, if you can confirm that 117 by Juania there is indeed the first. Danny Boyd had his second, but the old expression. Don's as good I can quit now. Check it, and now old McDonald has it. See, this is where it pays to have your browser running real time, because if you're a little bit behind, I'm curious to text per minute. Yeah, Don, there'll be a spike when I look at the analytics, a comment spike right there. That's pretty normal. But Colleen, make sure there's nobody had it. Rust Before Holes, because you saw it. But was there anybody before him? Just make sure real quick for me that nobody got 117 before Rust Before Holes, before we declare this thing. Dallas says, let's give away more stuff. AHRA decal pack, sure thing. Shoot me another number, Dallas. We'll do it. We'll do it right now. Went back through. Okay, we're calling it. So, Rust Before Holes, congratulations, sir. I will get you your banner out ASAP. Thank you, Colleen. And thank you, Dallas. So, Dallas, if you don't mind, text me another number. We'll do this thing again. Yep, Wendy confirms. Cool. We just like to get it right. Glad he won. Oh, yeah. You know what? Let's, I don't know, Dallas. You pick a number. You pick a number and I'll make the bracket. You pick it. Cope said, I just sat down for my first meal of the day. You sound like you've had a hard-working day, man. Okay. Dallas has given us a number. This is for an AHRA sticker pack. Cope sat down for dinner at Burrito Express in Monticello, Indiana. Cool. So I take it you're at your cottage for the weekend, right? I have yet to see the cottage. Looks cool. Okay, here we go. This is for an AHRA sticker pack. Again, pick a number between 300 and 400. Go. Everybody's eligible. Here we go. We've already got a winner. We definitely have a winner. Colleen, make sure, see if anybody got it before him. Please manually check back. We just want to get it right. We do have a winner, though. So when Colleen confirms that nobody had it first before him, because I thought we got the same one, we think. We're just confirming. Once she confirms, one of these days on these number ones, Paula Nelson's going to hit it just right on the nose. She's going to get it. So we know the Bigfoot Mark. Okay, we good? Okay. Yep, Bigfoot Mark. So congratulations, man. AHRA sticker pack. I can get Dallas your info if he doesn't already have it to ship to you. So cool. That was fun. Yeah, cool indeed. Yeah, good stuff. You know, that was possibly my first sticker on the big board up there was the AHRA sticker. Missed it by 7. What kind of answer is that? That's missing by a mile. Yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. We don't always do giveaways, but we do. We have fun with them. Here is the link to Buffalo Brian's channel, Unfinished Project, put up. Buffalo Brian does demo derby stuff. Yeah, that's one thing about when you have a number between 300 and 400. Guys are going to want to guess engine combinations. There are 300 and some cubic inches. Yeah, old McDonald says I missed it by 7. Wrong English says 7/10 on the tree. 7/10 on the tree? That's a lot. Frizzell says a demo derby would be a blast to do. Yeah, kind of literally and figuratively. I don't know about that. But I will say, if you need the valve body for a demo derby, Cope makes one that I think is really ingenious. It keeps the low reverse band on all the time because you're going from first to reverse all the time. By keeping that band on, it keeps from breaking it. And that will help protect the sprag. So I think that's a really smart thing to do. If you have a Chrysler transmission in your demo derby car, I think that's a really smart thing to have. Ryan says, I don't say a lot because I cannot text fast. Hey, that's fine. I'm glad you're here. Unfinished Project said only 19 Saturdays until No Name Nationals 25. Oh, hey, Colleen, if you don't mind, can you text me over um, Rusty Four Holes and Bigfoot Mark, just so I remember getting these shipped out, because I'm not going to be doing it till top of the week. Oh, Dallas is 7/10 on the trees. What I gave Michael Yielding last year, 28-10-5. If you haven't seen that race, you need to see it. Dallas, he was the underdog, and so he chopped a tree down on that one, took a shot at the tree, and he made it interesting. Rusty Four Holes says, I got 9 new subscribers from this live chat last Friday, pushing hard to get 500. You can do it. You can definitely do it. here's a weird comment. Are we getting into weird hour or something? Do you know why a Chinese man and a Chinese woman cannot have a Caucasian baby? Yeah, well, that reminds me of I don't know who here in the chat would even, I mean, if Lars was here, there's a really funny, Cat Williams has a skit where he's getting visited in prison and talking about his baby coming to visit him, and it is hilarious. He said his wife says, this is your baby. He said, that's a Caucasian baby from the mountains of Caucasus. You can imagine I had to have been there, but I thought it was funny. Brazil says, you guys are awesome. The new channel has 4 subs already, and I haven't made a video for it. Yeah, I'm going to subscribe after the live. Bear Rose says, hello there, everybody. Okay, there you go. There's your punchline. Where's my cymbal crash? Love Cat Williams. Yeah, that was funny. He is funny. Oh, Colleen, probably not. Probably not. I want to be able to sleep tonight at some point. Cope's Demo Derby Valve Body. Yes, Unfinished Project. Put up the link. It's interesting how that works. So to keep from breaking the low reverse band, and because the car only uses first and reverse, it keeps the band on all the time, which I think is ingenious. So the transmission just goes first reverse, which makes it more reliable to not break the band. And I would think it would also protect the sprag because the band stays on all the time. I think it's a brilliant idea myself. Bad Tree Blake says, Dallas gets better reaction times the more hungover he is, since proven in September 2023. And there's Cope himself. If you have any questions, you can ask. Who knows? Maybe one of these months will snare him for another live stream. Buffalo Brian says, am I supposed to try to get 500 subs? I don't know why not. Why not? More people need to see what Buffalo Brian does. Scrap Iron Racing is here. Well, hello, sir. Thanks for coming by. It's always good to see you. Scrap Iron Racing always brings very nice hardware, and they are very nice people. Their Chevelle wagon won the People's Choice last year. They have an awesome little roadster. Great guys. I really hope to see you guys again in Sykeston this year. So I hope to see you back. I hope to have you back. Super nice people, and they bring great rides. They're talented guys. And thank you, Colleen. Thanks for the reminder. I need that. Colleen, so I've got some nicknames for people here, and Lars is the lieutenant, and Colleen is the secretary. So she helps me when I need administrative help on something like that. Beru's Garage says, what is that? Dean's mower took a dump, and now I have to figure out how to get it out of the North 40 to the shop. Hydro drive is only nice when it's working. Oh, yeah. You can't even roll that thing. I'm not even sure what you're talking about, Buffalo Brian, but We'll help you however we can. And there's a link to Scrap Iron Racing. Those guys are legit. Check out their channel. Good stuff over there. Dallas says we need a Dean Stevenson blow-up doll in the troll seating this year. Yeah, maybe. Dean needs to come on out. Lieutenant and Mama switchboard operator. Well, Colleen says I'm the switchboard operator. I've done enough of that. .38 says there should be some sort of drive release on the mower. That's good to know. I wouldn't have even thought about that. Those things just turn into rocks when they stop moving. Aunt D says it sounds like that demo derby valve body might be good for a plow truck as well. Well, that's interesting. Hadn't thought about that. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Probably would be. If you didn't drive your plow truck off the lot and have to take it on the road and get any speed, then I would think so. I have no idea what unfinished project put up the link for, but I'm going to go ahead and post it. JB's Little Shop. Hello, sir. He says, for some reason, everyone thinks I've checked out. I'm still here. Hey, no, man. We know you're here. Thank you for coming by. It's always good to see you. And there's Lone Wrench Garage, No Name 500 contender. Feedback on what, Cutter Down? Indirect Connection. Jason is here. Hello. Glad you could be here. I saw some angry truckers here last week on the road, and I thought of you. Cope says I have a plow truck video up with my 48 RE reverse manual. So yeah, check that out. I almost wore my CRT valve body shirt today, and I decided to go with my Atlas Tactical, but I got the CRT shirt hanging up. I like that design, actually. Old McDonald says, speaking of switchboard operators, Ruth Buzzy passed away a few days ago. I didn't realize she was that old, but it makes sense if you think about it. The way I stay apprised of celebrity deaths is my friend Billy. He always tells me who from the land of TV and movies died. Your audio has a low 2-second delay echo. I have no idea. It sounds like a browser thing to me. Or like you have YouTube open or something, or I don't know. Nobody else is telling me that. Anybody else notice that? Oh, I know what you're hearing. I know what you're hearing. You're hearing a YouTube on in the background. That's what that is. I know a bunch of plow trucks never go on the road. Yeah, but see, you live in a place where you get a lot of snow. Blue Brick Garage confirms Anna wants to race you in September. Indirect Connection. What is she bringing? 67 Mustang. Yeah, the volume's fine. Yeah, but I know that takes some good ears, but I got a YouTube browser going in there. We got several new folks in here, and I do this from time to time. If there are any new folks in here who have not gotten any No Name Nationals decals before, let me know. Email me, and I will be happy to send you some No Name Nationals decals. If there's any new people here who have yet to get any, I just like to do that every now and then. And then generally I stick people on my Christmas card list once I do that. Hopefully the 67 Mustang with one wheel peel to keep it safe. Okay. Clayton's Toolbox stops by. Hello. Is it spring there yet? I mean, you Canadians, when do you really have your spring? Because spring's in full swing here. Yep, if you need to register for No Name Nationals, you can register right there. Unfinished Project, put up the link. I was explaining the lull in registrations that happens every spring and summer, every time. We have a big spike in the beginning, then it tapers way off in the middle of summer, then it surges at the end. So it's done that every year, doing the same this year. I would love to see more people commit early because it would let us do more stuff. JB says one wheel peel to keep it safe. That sounds more dangerous to me. Yeah, Walter, what is the thinking behind that? Crystal says, I got one when Mohawk ordered me a shirt. Otherwise, he hoards them. Yeah. Okay. And Mohawk's got several. Cutter Down Garage says, I jumped from my no-plate plow truck and ran to get pizza on the way and got into an accident with a train. No joke, with another car. And it totaled my 86 400. What? What happened? You got in an accident with a train? 38 Racing says, I'm actually getting a few things done right now, steering and fuel lines. This lift is the best money I've spent in a long time. You're just flexing that you have a lift. Whereas I did exhaust laying on the ground a couple days ago. Dandelions growing like weeds. Oh, yeah. Grass is surging here. Bigfoot says, second time I registered with no car. You'll get there. Indirect connections having to use the defroster. Wrong English says, can we get a one-wheel peel call-out category? Fine with me. I can't find them. Oh, you know what? I'll send Crystal I'll send you some decals. And I'll put right on the envelope, do not Bogart these Mohawk. How about that? I don't know what that is, Blake, but pulling no punches the Blake way. Clayton says, I'm in a soon-to-be independent Alberta, and it's amazing outside. Spring is here. Okay. I've never been to Canada, any part of it. Hey, Dallas, can I show that on the live? If I can, I'll put it up. I don't assume. 700 miles in one day. Dallas just went and got this. I don't even know for sure what that is, other than some old lady car. Y'all know what that is? I can only assume it's a Buick. The English family is having pizza for dinner tonight, Don and Wendy. Well, Wendy says we. I'm assuming Don's getting some pizza too. Indirect Connection says, I finally have a paved driveway. Good for you, man. I have a paved driveway, but it's on a slope and I hate it. I've always hated that driveway. You're welcome. You need some. We'll do that. Buffalo Brian, you have a good evening. Thanks for coming by. Indirect Connections wanting to do some track time with Blue Grid ahead of No Name Nationals. Yeah, do it to it. It's a 78, 79 Buick Century. Is that what you guys are saying? And then he went and picked up a car for Buff. I won't show that one unless Buff is here and says it's okay, because he might want to put that on his channel. So, but I see it and it's cool. I can't. Parts car. Why is that a parts car? That thing is complete and rust free. That shouldn't be any parts car. Are you kidding me? 38 Racing says, I'm starting to show the signs of getting old. The ground is getting further down. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I'll tell you, doing exhaust on the Jeep isn't so bad because it's so high up off the ground. Blue Grit wants to know if Dallas is planning on racing that in reverse at No Name Nationals. I don't know what he's planning on doing. Looks whole, yeah. A quick update to the schedule for this upcoming No Name Nationals. Pizza for Ron. I get some of Wendy's homemade macaroni and cheese. Yeah, we're going to have a community cookout on Saturday. Buff already has it on his channel. Okay, I can show it. This is what Dallas picked up for them. That Futura. Per Kim, it's rust-free. I got to tell you, man, I can't imagine scrapping that. I mean, that looks pretty cool from here. Yeah, Barrows said they did a fun drive. So a couple channels told me they've done a fun drive. Buick, Dallas confirms 78 Buick Century. Oh, McDonald says, if you're getting older, isn't the ground getting closer? Yeah, but I mean, to get up off of it, the ground is farther away. I can see what he's saying. Bigfoot Mark says, Jason Rock Falls has a big Mopar showdown. Quarter-mile drag racing car show swap meet first weekend of September. Mopar Jeff 604 is bringing two of his cars. Cool. And here's a link to Buff's parts car unfinished project puts up. Yeah, I think that's neat. I'm having a hard time finding anything wrong with that. Man, that's a two-door Fox chassis Futura. That is cool. I'm not crazy about Ranger wheels on a car, but I think they're cool. Blue Grid says that Buick is so odd, it's kind of cool. Okay. Crystal says, I'm closer than all of you to the ground. Yeah, that you are. Dougster appears in the chat. Hello, Dougster. Glad you could make it. Barrows thinks that suits Dallas. That little Buick is you. Maybe. Dallas isn't 50 yet. He's got another year. I think when Dallas finally gets the AARP card officially next year, that needs to be his ride right there. Does it have the cloth seats in it that just make you itch just looking at them? Dr. Go is here, been working on the deck. I was explaining to somebody that Dr. Go's theme music needs to be Kiss, their song Dr. Love. That works for him. Dougster is putting out a PSA to the entire chat that says, hi, everyone. I'm currently cooking dinner. What's for dinner, Dougie? What are you making? Yes, itchy cloth seats. Exactly. Exactly. What's for dinner? Johnny C. wants to know. Dougster's making Brussels sprouts, broccoli, scrambled with some eggs and cheese. Okay. Sounds like a pretty complete dinner. Not my taste, but doesn't sound bad. Dean would like Dougie's opinion on the new deep dish Chicago-style communion wafers. Dallas says the interior smells like Dracar Noir. Ugh. I bet that interior smells like the year 1985 for some reason. Scrap Iron Racing says, joining Blue Grit Garage in some SCCA autocross action. Just bought a Toyota MR2 Spider. It's a blast to drive. Cool. I rode in a B-engine swapped Civic today. Cool little ride. I should have made it my thumbnail. Didn't think to get a picture. Dougie says, and some golden oyster mushrooms I picked last Friday, too. Look at you getting all sophisticated, Dougie. Unfinished project says, I have that cologne. Dr. Ghost says, I'll see if I can dig out a picture of me in high school with my Kiss concert shirt on, standing next to the racing boat I built in wood shop. Yeah, you know what? That'll be your contact picture if you do. Blue Grit Garage wants to know where Scrap Iron Racing is located. They are in Louisiana. Dallas says, Dr. Cope, the transmission doctor. Yeah, he's the valve body king of Chicago. Mr. Froman there, the valve body king of Chicago. Speaking of Dr. Go, see if I can find this here. It shouldn't be too hard. I think it might be in my favorites. Here's Dr. Go. I found it quick. This is at Cope's shop right here. There's Dr. Go. And he's by the parking sign there, parking for the 904 King only. And I got the No Name Nationals banner up there on the mezzanine. See, there you go. Crystal says, I made Mohawk get rid of a bottle of that stuff. I smelled horrible. Bad Tree Blake, thank you. I appreciate it for your premium parking pass this year. Well, thank you. I will drop a note, and thank you. That is greatly appreciated. I don't solicit super chats. We do have a monetized channel. Anything we happen to get goes right into the coffers of the No Name Nationals. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Blake. Yes, very nice of him. Bear Rose is asking Dallas if he found a 1984 Van Halen cassette in there or Alabama. No, Dallas says AM radio only. Oh, gosh. Rick Astley, that'd be even worse. Dallas says, I was going to send a super chat that smelled like Dracar Noir, but it crashed my phone. Mohawk says, I have an engine that Scrap Iron might be interested in, a complete 20-valve silver top 4AG with harness. I don't even know what that is, but I bet they do. There's Buff's Garage. Howdy, sir. Falkenstein has a tape deck in it with an old Beastie Boys tape in it. Perfect. I agree. You know you're rocking out the Sabotage in that. Wrong English thinks probably more than one of Cope's transmissions at No Name Nationals this year. Well, there's all kinds of his stuff at No Name Nationals. The community loves their CRT stuff for good reason. Wilburn challenged to visit Mr. Cope and get a picture with the No Name Nationals banner. Challenge accepted and completed by taking Wilburn's advice and putting it on the calendar. Well, you got to have it on the calendar. If it's not on the calendar, it's not real. I will tell you this. You know what? I might do something special. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to do some kind of giveaway for everybody between now and No Name Nationals that can get their picture taken. And you can't do it with Photoshop. You got to do it in person. Get your picture taken with the 904 King parking sign at CRT. So if you're going there to buy parts, buy stuff, commission a valve body, whatever it is, or whatever, everybody who gets their picture taken in person in Lowell, Indiana with the 904 King parking sign, I'm going to do some kind of giveaway for them. There's been a lot of people do it, surprisingly. I'm surprised how many people have posed with that thing. Unfinished Project puts up the link to Sabotage. There you go. I bet it was more like a Frank Sinatra cassette. I could see that, but I like Frank Sinatra. Challenge accepted. There you go. Buff's looking for 904 for October. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Cave Dave is here. Howdy, sir. I just bought some 904 cores, actually. So, can you do that as a proxy for the cat? Now, listen, we're not making this complicated. You have to go to CRT and pose with that sign. And Dougster says that he wiped the booger on him. So there you go. So watch where you put your hands on there. Yeah, Buff. We'll talk. I'm glad to talk. I wish I remembered to sign. Well, now you'll remember it. See. Brass Monkey. There you go. Yeah, I'm not even going to read that. I'm just going to put it on the screen. Yes, unfinished project with all the fresh hits. Buff is reading, but on the phone. Yeah, you got this. This is a new thing now. So everybody who composed with a Cope might be like, "Oh man, don't send them over here." But I will tell you that the people who have, everybody whom I've ever seen who posed with the sign was there buying stuff. So. No, I wholeheartedly recommend getting your transmission stuff from CRT. And probably, I don't know if you'll want to do anything while the weather's warm and there's evening daylight and all that good stuff like going on right now. But I would love to have Cope back on for actually, I want to do a different kind of live with him. As you guys know, I did a biography style live with Ron Ward, and we're scheduling one in summer with Joe, just Mopar Joe, for biography style live. And I would definitely like to do one with Cope. So. Cope says, I'm always lonely. Come on by, get your picture with. So, Cope, I don't know if you saw it, but I did a biography style live with Ron Ward here recently, and it was excellent. We talked about Ron doing his music, talked about all these other things Ron did besides being an announcer. It was a very interesting live. His restoration stuff had a lot of pictures up. I'd like to do one like that with you as well. Buff says, I finally have a Mopar that needs Cope parts. Well, it's about time. You're a grown man. What took you so long? JB says, I have to get out because 5:30 comes early. Well, thank you for coming by. We appreciate you. Indirect Connection says, we never did stop for pizza. Just hammered on home. You cheated yourself. You cheated yourself out of Aurelio's. Dude, how could you do that? Now, I will say that when I've been down there, the Aurelio's pizza is excellent. You have to do that. I'm not a huge fan of the pasta, though. I've had their pasta. No one talks about their pasta for a reason. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but their pizza's the thing. So my thing is next time I go to Portillo's, do I do the Italian beef or do I do the hot dogs? I'm thinking the hot dogs, what I'm thinking. Because in this town here, I have long missed, see here I'm talking about these places that most of you will probably never get to go. I have long missed Amelia's Pizzeria, an Italian restaurant that was in Cambria. For years, it's been closed. I'm like, no, that place was awesome. And I think it was mostly, just personnel and staffing and all of that stuff. And, I think that just became a thing. So now he has a downsized operation. It's a carryout restaurant, but has all that good food still there. I was so excited to find out about that. Had that for lunch today. Buddies in Christiansburg. So, does a great Philly, fettuccine, does pasta, good stuff. So anyway, not that any of you needed to know that, but if you're ever in Christiansburg, Virginia, you want to know where to eat, I can tell you. Yes, Dougie, Aurelio's. Italian beef is really good at Portillo's. Yes, it is. Now the question, Dougie, is do you get so I can't figure this out. I can't figure this out. So everything's different up north. It's just completely different. What they call gravy is not what we call gravy. And they dip the sandwich, the Italian beef in, like they'll dip it in it, or it's light or a whole lot. I don't really know. I don't understand all that. I'm thinking, don't some people call tomato sauce gravy? I don't know. I really don't know. Proper gravy is dark. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, we all like pizza, Blake. Who doesn't like pizza? Just saying, if you go there, if you go to Cope's, you got to stop it. You got to stop at Aurelio's. Cave Dave says, my neck fusion surgery is Monday. Wish me luck. It's going to suck. Yeah, I can't imagine there's going to be anything good about it, but I hope it goes well and you heal up quick and are out of pain. Dougster articulates that it's a beef broth, not gravy. But I think it does say on the sign, it's a French dip sandwich, in my opinion. I got it light on the gravy, and I thought it was great. 6th Street Garage wants to know something Cope could answer better than any of us. Is Cope a Green Acres fan? I heard him call his truck Mr. Haney. Well, it is called Mr. Haney, but he spells it with 2 N's, and Mr. Haney on the show is spelled with 1. We can let Cope answer that one since he's in here. Mohawk says what the South calls a barbecue sandwich is not a barbecue sandwich. It's just pulled meat, pork or beef. Well, Yankees call a cookout a barbecue, or they call a grill a barbecue. So Bad Tree says it's called au jus. Yeah. Well, I thought I heard it called gravy, but I don't know. I'm not really a gravy connoisseur. I know my mom said that Hardy's gravy was like Elmer's glue, but I don't eat the stuff. Unfinished project is saying brisket should only be served with horseradish sauce. Blue Grit says, ever have barbecue pork steaks? No. We had a really good barbecue restaurant here in town that was run by people from South Carolina, and they closed it down. They still have one of them up the road here in Roanoke, but I miss that place. Dougster says, on East Coast, barbecue is food. On West Coast, barbecue is what you make food on. No, on East Coast, barbecue is food, and on West Coast, barbecue is food also. They're weird and they're wrong. Oh boy. Bruce says, will pouring seafoam into my modem speed up my uploads? My internet connection's been crawling for the last 2 days. Yes. Pop the cap, dump it straight into the modem, and film it on your phone. Yes. Hot tip. When you do it, you'll probably need to upload it from the library, but don't miss getting the video. Damien wants to know, isn't a pork steak just a pork chop? Okay, Dave says barbecue sandwich in my South is pork. Yeah. American Hot Rod Association says everyone needs to bring their selection foods to the community cookout at No Name Nationals 2025. Yes, we're going to be talking more about that community cookout. Barbecue is a verb too. No, it is not. Colleen, can you post the link to the barbecue song by Rhett and Link? Rhett and Link, the barbecue song. That's the best tutorial on barbecue I think I've ever seen. Danny Boyd says barbecue is one of man's greatest achievements. I don't know that I'd argue that. Bruce is pouring seafoam into his modem now. I'll give you an update. Well, thank you. Yeah, we'll be talking more about that. I really think that's a great idea for Saturday. So I talked with Possum about it last year. He's on board with it. Bruce says it sped up his uploads, but now I can't see my computer screen because of the smoke. Keep filming. Keep filming on your phone there. You know that label, do not try this at home? That's for the weak. Here you go. This is the barbecue song by Rhett and Link. It's a pretty good tutorial as to what barbecue actually is from North Carolinians who actually know. Bruce says, I tried it with my clarinet some years ago and it did no good and tasted like seafoam. Well, keep trying. It was a worthy experiment. Unfinished Project says almost all wasabi in the USA is fake, horseradish with green dye. Okay. Blake says, I need to move their sticker away from doing. Okay. You're doers, aren't you? You're there between Joe and Jim Bennett. It's good company. I don't know why you're talking about battery acid, Danny boy. I don't know. The Bad Tree guys, they always turn up and make stuff happen. So Reuben casserole on thick bread. Yeah, I don't got a pretty limited palate. Hey, Y'all do me a favor. I want to see how many you can come up with. How many songs can you guys think of that have the word gangster in them? Just curious. Bruce said Lori's coughing. I better open the windows. Maybe call the fire department and put them on alert. Yeah, okay. Well, Lori, you should put on a respirator and keep watching the show. 38 raises to 0. That's the correct answer. That's the correct answer. Professor P and I were talking about stuff named gangsta today. See? Yeah. See, this is it right here. Johnny C says, I still have a Jim Bennett t-shirt and stickers. Really enjoyed his channel. I just kept it like that. Yeah, I like Jim Bennett, man. He was cool. I remember going and doing a live stream with him not long before, I mean, right before he died. Such a shame. He was so nice to me. Good dude. Actually, I did a couple of live streams with him. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here they come. Gangster Car, Original Gangster, Gangster's Paradise. Few of the Gangster, probably never heard Gangster Prankster. Man, it feels good to be. See, there. Now we're talking. There, I'm going to throw one in the mix. Professor P and I, the word of the day was gangster, so we thought we would have a little fun with that. Bruce says, I think Beethoven wrote something with the word gangster in it, but I can't recall the particulars. Yeah, here we go. Gangster whip. Raven Transit said, I got the dart out today. I might actually get some testing tuned in before No Name Nationals. There you go. I've never heard any of that good. Yeah, I'm just saying. Well, Professor P and I were talking about a race class that had the name and how much people use that for everything. Everything is gangster, right? None of that's gangster, but we were talking about it. I thought it was kind of funny. And one time, just Mopar Joe, he described the Wi-Fi at his shop as gangster internet. Battery Blake says that's gangsta. Well, Blake is kind of gangsta, so. Bruce, it's time to go. Lori's checking the chats are laying on their back with their legs up in the air. The cats are. Okay. All right, I can't see my screen anymore. Well, don't give up. Make sure that the phone is not so logged with smoke that you can't post the video. That's what matters, Thanks for coming out, Bruce. Appreciate you as always. Danny Boy doesn't want to lose his mullet. Everybody perked up over that one. Lyrical, very good. See, even this crowd knew a bunch of these. Yeah, the irony of that is that's about the least gangsta song ever. Matthew says another overused word I hate is diva. Oh, don't get Bruce started on overused words. That is correct. Bruce says he'll send me a report on what happened, or he could check what happened eventually on the 11 o'clock news. Good idea. So a reminder for those who are in the chat right now, Danny Boy says, and is way too overused. Okay. I'm going to be taking the Jeep to a Jeep show tomorrow in Botetourt County. And assuming I make it there, I'm going to be leaving here early tomorrow morning. So I don't know if I'm going to be streaming the drive up, but I probably will stream the drive back. So could be some Jeep content tomorrow regardless. Dougster says 2 overused words in his opinion are toxic and narcissistic. I would agree with both of those. I think at least the latter is kind of a buzzword now. There's a lot of those, and everybody's an armchair has an armchair diagnosis. I mean, I agree it's real, but still, yeah, you're right. And toxic is too. When did masculinity become toxic? I mean, you don't even hear it used in any other context. There's a lot of overused words and improperly used words. Like one that Bruce and I agree on is the word issue. Is it a problem or is it an issue? Yeah, Dougster, there's a big list of them, but you're right. Those are 2. They're just hot topic type of words. Like, yeah. Oh gosh, that's a plague. I remember one time when I was I don't know if it was when I was at Tech or after, probably while I was at Virginia Tech. I one time would count how many times you'd hear the word like used at a table, just a table full of girls over there talking. It's unbelievable. You lose count. It's just a filler word for inarticulate people. These are people going to a really good university who should be more fluent than that. Standard issue. That's a proper way to use it. Colleen says narcissistic is overused until you've lived with a narcissist. Well, a lot of people use that word, flippantly. They don't, it's not actually, there's a lot of words that are used incorrectly and overused in general. 38 Racing uses it properly. Issue. I have the last issue of Carcraft. That's the proper use. Like a rhinestone cowboy. That's a proper use. Good on you guys. Look at this. Getting these right. I like that. Mohawk says, Army motto, we do not have problems. We have issues. No. You have problems. You might solve them, but you have problems. If there are issues, that means people are debating about them and trying to wordsmith their way into pretending they don't exist. Mad Tree Blake says, I feel as retarded. We should say retarded most more. Perhaps. Disadvanced. I don't think I've ever heard that word in my life, Danny Boyd. Dougster says that's why I have a problem with both, as people use the term improperly. It's a buzzword they don't understand. Exactly. It's like the word of the day on Dr. Phil or something. Blue Brick Garage says it's also annoying where every sentence sounds like a question. There's actually a term for that. It's called upspeak. It's upspeak. They'll take a statement and they phrase it where it sounds like a question by the inflection. It's weird. Unsweetened tea. What are we talking about there, Bigfoot Mark? Why are we talking about unsweetened tea? I like unsweetened tea. Actually, I usually mix it about a quarter sweet. Then it's plenty sweet enough. Dallas, I have no idea. I've never seen that word used that way ever. When my feet hurt, it usually issues. Is this correct? Doesn't sound like it. I don't get it. Unfinished Project says Trump signed an executive order making it okay to say retarded again. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that I didn't talk about adjusting the timing on my car until Trump did so. Bad Tree Blake says that dirt water is unsweet tea. Yeah, I just don't like all that sugar. Crystal Kilgore says, I prefer coffee over tea. I prefer coffee over nothing. Coffee is, I think coffee is made. I saw a house yesterday that was burned down to nothing. It was burned to a crisp. Clearly the fire department just let the thing go. And I think what they're going to do is knock it down, put all that in a grinder, mix it with water, and that'll make coffee supply for the town for the next year. I like tea over coffee. Yes, Dougster. I don't like the smell of coffee. I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. I can't get past the smell of it. It smells like burned wood or something. See, there you go. It's proper use. When Johnny Law stops me, he usually issues a citation. That is correct. Unfinished project puts up coffee. Okay. Bad Tree Blake tries to limit his water so it doesn't dilute his beer game. Peckerwood Customs Aaron says, I drink hot coffee all week and tea on the weekend. Okay, whatever works for you. Mohawk gets annoyed with people that always say, you know. Don't know what these people are talking about here. Dallas apparently is playing rock, paper, scissors here. Bad Tree Blake says, our rep is killing my liver. Your rep? Blake's talking about rock lobster. Don't know what you're talking about. The chat has devolved. Danny Boyd pretends he still has a liver. Indirect Connection says, I don't mind the smell of coffee until it's brewed. Then it's garbage. I don't like the smell of coffee at all. Danny Boyd says, my liver is out in the yard with a loaded shotgun. Okay. Unfinished Project says, I use 2 tablespoons of instant in a tiny bit of hot water, then fill the cup with milk and top it off with a splash of French vanilla creamer. Sounds sophisticated. Crystal Kilgore says, I'm going to have to rely on Mohawk to sneak in coffee after my surgery in the hospital for me. Okay. Coffee contraband. Well, Mohawk can do it. Mohawk, what kind of security do they have getting that coffee in there? Can you just bring it in a closed bag? You're going to have to rely on the prison purse? How are we doing that? Bad Tree Blake says, the drunkenest Mopar guys on YouTube in Iowa. It's pretty competitive. My next door neighbor has a 55,000 sub YouTube channel. I'm not even the biggest YouTuber on this block. There's Lars. Howdy. Dr. Go said, I had a friend who finished every other sentence with and whatnot. Were you neighbors or you friends with Hank Hill? That's what it sounds like. Bad Tree Blake says exactly, and he's possibly a she online or not. Okay. Yeah. All right. Deckerwood Customs says, I did watch another car guy in Iowa the other day. You got competition, but don't think he smashes the beers like you do, though. Well, there is no other Bad Tree. Those guys are a category of their own. There'll never be another Bad Tree Productions. Paul Tuttle Sr. always said what not to. I can't even recall that. He said a lot of weird stuff. Blue Rick Rod said, after my surgery, a friend brought me one of those pizza-sized chocolate chip cookies. I was not allowed to eat it, but got extra special attention from the nurses. Oh, those things are so good. They're so good. I could just eat one of those complete. They're so expensive, though. Gosh. I priced one out at our cookie shop at the mall. They're outrageously expensive, but they're delicious. And they only do them in like the regular chocolate chip. If they did one in double chocolate, I'd be in a coma. Blake did a video of J-Bo in his natural habitat. That was funny. Yeah, Paul Tuttle says idea also. Yeah, he said a lot of weird stuff. Danny Boyd says even a 12-gauge rolling pin won't force me out of the kitchen. $38 Raisins asking, are you in northeast or northwest Iowa? We'll let Blake answer that one. Sam Mimolo said idea or two. He was one of those dudes from that Shade Tree Mechanic TV show that was on at like the dawn of the automotive fixing stuff shows before they became sponsor fests. Big Bits of Mopar says, as an ex-ER nurse, I never eat food brought by patients. Okay. Bad Tree Blake says, northeast on Pool 10, just south of Heaven. Ask Dallas. I loved Shade Tree. It was okay. I got to tell you though, it's hard to listen to that dude too, especially the short one. I don't know. They were both hard to listen to in their own way. Cope says Mr. Haney on Green Acres was a scam artist, kind of like a sleeper. You try to scam that it's slow when it's fast. Thus the name Mr. Haney. There you go. Parked Up Garage. He says, hi, John. Thought I'd slide in here like Earnhardt at a short track pit stop. Top of the evening to you. Well, howdy. Thanks for coming out. Danny Boyd liked Shade Tree. The Shade Tree Mechanic, I believe was the name of it. Well, I think Mr. Haney works really well for that truck. I like it. Yeah, I like Mr. Haney. Cope and I made passes 100th apart in that truck on the same weekend. I took it down the track a little lighter, and Cope took it down the track a little less fear of breaking it. So it wound up even and right out. And Andy did the same. He and Andy were 1/100th off with the old motor. Bad Tree Blake says, let's not bring up Earnhardt. I saw something about Earnhardt not long ago. Thought about him. Johnny C. loved Arnold Ziffel the most. Yeah, it's a cool show. Wasn't it Eva Gabor that was in that? Wasn't it Zsa Zsa's sister? I think so. Ginger Lane bread. Oh, I got to see that. Yeah, I don't know who Ginger Lane in Princeton's named after, but that is the old Princeton Dragway. Oh, boy. Oh, man. We got it all started now. Dougster's saying Earnhardt, no. King Richard Petty, yes. Oh, boy. Sam Memolo used the word buddy a lot. Another word I hate because it sounds like you're talking to a dog. I can get that. I get that. Well, he just, that severe Yankee accent to me was just kind of grating. Dizzy says, almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River, life is good there. I was in West Virginia yesterday. Oh, no, it's all good. That's just what they do. We only have a few minutes anyway, so. But who had the better reaction time, John? Oh, mine was horrible. Well, my reaction, first of all, I can't cut a tree to save my life, right? I couldn't cut a tree with someone else's axe and chainsaw. I don't have that ability. But I'll tell you what, I did not know that they were going pro tree. So I'm watching for the top bulb, and when all of them flashed, I'm like, okay, I just lost. So let me not botch the pass itself. I'll give the reaction time, just threw that away. Now let me not botch the pass, because you don't want to botch both. So I'm like, okay, forget the reaction time. I'm going to relax, make a good pass. That's what I did. So I left on a sundial, but the pass was good. Just Mopar Joe says, all right, Mopar people, be sure and congratulate Levi on his graduation this year. Bad Tree Blake says, I've lost 18 pounds once my doctor said cut carbs, JW. My blood sugar's way down. Cool, man. That sounds great. Yeah. Unfinished Project was all about 43 until he backed BLM. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with all that stuff. No, that's not what he's talking about, Danny Boyd. I don't believe. Thanks. By the way, just so I'll let you guys know here before we roll out, I've been doing some biography style live streams. I did one with Ron Ward. If you didn't see that, we talked about all the other things about Ron Ward. We had pictures of the young Ron Ward, showed what he does for his day job, the restoration stuff, talked about his music, and all of that kind of thing. All the things you wouldn't normally know about Ron Ward from attending the No Name Nationals. And we're going to do something like that with Just Mopar Joe this summer. So be looking for that to be coming out on the schedule here soon. And we have some others, the similar style that we're going to do. Lars puts up a link. Register or buy spectator tickets for the 4th annual AHRA No Name Nationals here. Joe says John W. gets the exclusive. He's literally seen the battlefield. Indeed. I'm really looking forward to that. I always look forward to getting time to spend time with Just Mopar Joe. He's a great guest. You know, he's a rare treat on here. And we're going to do a little bit different style with him. Very much looking forward to that. You guys will get lots of advance notice when that one's going to happen. But with that, we're at our time. Thank you guys for coming out. A reminder, there's not going to be a Tech Talk Live on the AHRA channel this week. Dallas said he's going to be at the Buick Nationals. Also, a reminder, I don't know if I'll stream it on the way up, on the way back, or whatever, but I do plan to stream some Jeep content tomorrow, going to the Star City Jeepers show at Lord Botetourt High School from 9 to 3. If you happen to be in that area, and I don't know who in this chat is, but if you want to come by the Star City Jeepers Jeep show, I think it's 120 spots with a swap meet. It'll be at Lord Botetourt High School in Daleville, Virginia tomorrow, 9 to 3. So, and when I go, I'll be going early because, you know, you can't take that Jeep on the interstate. So I'm going to be taking my time getting up there, especially if I got to do something on the roadside. So anyway, with that, we're at our time. Thank you all for coming out. We will see you guys probably tomorrow and then definitely next Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody.